welcome back. We're going to be talking technology now, and Nigeria is going through a very interesting time in its history. The economy is, I would say, tatters, but maybe that would be taking it too far. But I mean, anybody who's in Nigeria knows we're going through a lot. We're almost in a recession, I think. The economy went into the negative zone in the first quarter of this year. So we're looking for all the other alternatives that we can use to, make money. Oil has become a problem. People are talking about agriculture and all the other angles that might fetch us new streams of income. But technology might be the one, actually, and we're going to be talking about that now. I have here with me two people who should be helping us understand how that would work. Simisola Ogundowale, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
And of course, Bonjour Akingbade, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Is it still something that we can call novel in Nigeria? Because, for a while, it looked like IT was not necessarily an African thing. Then we started hearing about Nigeria and Kenya with people playing in these two spaces. But is it big enough now to be a huge GDP contributor as it is?
Well, yes. Last year in 2015, ICT contributed 11% to Nigeria's GDP. It's no longer a novel. It's nothing new. It's here to stay. And a lot of the young people are getting on board with ICT. It's here to stay, and I'm happy that the government as well has come to see this and is setting up a lot of hubs, for people to go there, work, build their ideas, develop their ideas, add to the well-being of the country and all of that. Yeah. So it's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's here to stay.
IT is one of those sectors where you don't necessarily need government's money per se. Policy is mostly what you need. Yeah. And we've seen that happen with, first of all, the explosion of the GSM in the early 2000s, and now IT, as a whole becoming a thing here. We've had places like Yaba, suddenly becoming our Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I hate those comparisons, but it's happening here. Is it national enough? First of all, besides, I'm not talking telecommunications now, the IT space as a whole. Is it a Lagos thing? Is it something that you see happening across board?
I think it's happening everywhere across Nigeria. So the hubs Simisola was referring to, they are actually everywhere. I'm very confident with the one in Cross Rivers, for example. There's a lot happening in Abuja, in Port Harcourt. So you have where the government creates an enabling environment. You have individuals coming together and then leveraging on that. So you have accelerators now popping up everywhere. You have incubators popping up everywhere, even on campuses all across Nigeria. So I think it's now part of the national cake, and it's a national conversation now.
Yeah, I ask that because I think besides contributing to the GDP, employment is one of our biggest issues, of unemployment, and that is one space that I think young people are able to latch onto with their startups, and you never know, one becomes one blows, let me say here eventually. Yeah. What are some of the things you're seeing young people do or play with around in IT now?
One thing about IT is that a lot of young people are doing now is they're beginning to export their skills. So imagine this, a young gentleman who can program certain languages, and he's developing himself, he's developing whatever skills there are. That's in Nigeria. Outside the country, we have people who are starting businesses, and employing them over there is slightly more expensive than having someone do it in Nigeria. So they put up their work on certain websites, put up their task on certain websites, and then the young gentleman I was referring to can apply and say that, oh, I've done XYZ, I've done this, I've done that, and he gets paid. So no one's waiting for anybody to hire. There are jobs out there on the internet that you can just pick up.
Are we doing enough, though? Are we competitive enough?
That's one thing. There's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of work to be done because the international standards, there's way a lot to be done.
Yeah. I see you're not in agreement. What are some of this? A lot of work to be done that needs to be done.
No, there's a huge skills gap, but it's not just native to Nigeria, it's all over the world. So you find out that, oil always rises to the top. So whether you are a good coder here in Nigeria or a good coder in Uzbekistan, you would always be the best. And what the world looks for is the best in every region. So if you go to Harvard, for example, and you're at the bottom of the class, you are not going to be called into a conversation where they're looking for the best from every country. So if you're the best in Nigeria, you'll be called into a national or a global conversation where you sit with those and compete with them on that level. So I think yes, there is the skills gap, but I think a lot of Nigerians are very promising and very enterprising. I mean, we have a lot of good case studies and a lot of places. I just don't want to mention names where they're every day they're skilling in Yaba, skilling these people up, and then they're getting investment to continue to skill up our young people, because labor is still a lot cheaper here than it is in most places in the world.
For the layman now, let's talk about Yaba. You've talked about all of the hubs that are popping up across the country. What really happens in these places? For people who are not in IT, who are wondering, what is it? Why should I be excited about it? Okay.
Yaba native.
Yeah. Okay, so what these hubs do, they provide the ideal environment for you. So you want to get work done, but because there's no power at home, you can't do anything. Your laptop needs to be charged, you need to be connected to the internet, but you can't do that in your house. So what these hubs provide is, well, the basic thing: power, electricity, and very good internet access. Another thing they do is mentorship. So you have this novel idea, you don't know how to go about it. They give you advice and tell you what to do. One key thing that I picked up with the hubs as well is collaboration. There's always work to do together, like, the best things are done together. The hubs provide the ideal environment for you so you are good in back-end programming, he's better in front-end, usability, he's better. By the time all these people come together, they just produce the best products there are.
Yes, I mean, collaboration. That's the big, beautiful thing about these hubs. Where if you're at home alone, there's only so much you can do. But in the hub, and if you're walking by, and if you ever take a visit to any of these places, you'd find different coders of different levels just helping out. Have a problem with this piece of code, I have a problem with that, and then just for free. And it's a lot different from the commercial environments where we are used to, where it's cutthroat and everyone is trying to edge the other person out.
Is there some competition that helps as well, right?
Yes, it does, yeah.
I know that at the beginning I said there's not a lot of government can do besides policy, but is government doing enough? With policy, with whatever it is, what are they not doing?
One of the hubs was set up by the government, so it's obvious that they've noted it that they need to contribute a lot more to ICT, but just one hub, we need more. We need more of those. There are a lot of great ideas out there just waiting to spring up, and it's becoming a tale where foreign investors are the ones that are beginning to see these things from outside the country. It shouldn't be that way. We should be able to encourage our own people. We should be able to showcase their work. We shouldn't wait for people from outside the country to do that for us.
In the segment before this, we're talking about security, and one of the guests said something about the president's body language and how that usually affects things in the long run, even if he doesn't say or do anything. With the body language of the presidency now, I know there are a lot of complaints from people in your sector when we had a new communications minister. From the last one we had, maybe this is not necessarily what we expected. How is that faring so far? What from government and the body language and the minister? What's happening?
Well, been lucky enough to speak to the ministers personally, and these people are not. They're quite intelligent, and they're quite passionate about our country, and are quite passionate about the sector as a whole. And when you're looking at government involvement, there are only three things really required, for ICT to grow in any country. You need devices, you need data, you need infrastructure. And policy helps that. So devices now is out of government's hands, but most OEMs are giving you devices at rock bottom prices. So everyone now has access to a smart device of some sort. So devices are cheaper. So what's government done? They've enabled, the other parties to give you infrastructure, laying fiber across the country, and they're trying to enable it. Yes, never mind the penalties and the slaps on the wrist. That's just to make them act a lot better. So I think the government involvement, this government particularly, is a lot better. People are happy that most of our suppliers will not, take us for a ride anymore. If
there are consequences.
There are consequences. If I want to get 1 gig, if I pay for 1 gig data,
yes.
I'm getting 1 gig data. Somebody's watching for me, So I, as a consumer, I'm protected. Yeah, it's a good thing.
So to the question of the day now, can technology be the new crude oil? Is this something that's, and if yes, how soon?
It's going to take a long time, but we need to start now. 30% of Germany's energy is renewable. They started in 1980. That was about 34 years ago. We need to start now.
Yeah.
So that's the best. That's the best we can do.
You agree?
Well, with everything, there's a tipping point. So when a movement starts, it doesn't usually pick up momentum. It starts really gradually. It's like, drops of water sipping through a rock. After a while, it starts to push the rock aside. So if you look at movements that have happened all over the world, whether it's Arab Springs or whether it's even in technology, and looking at the large IPOs that are happening, it all started with a bubble that happened in 96. It went down, and then all of a sudden started picking up again gradually till now, you find a company, valued at 19 billion. And then Mark Zuckerberg, dips his hand in his pocket and says, hey, I didn't give you work before, or you were not offered work, but take 19 billion now. So I think, yes, gradually we will get there. We just need time.
Yeah. Like you said about Silicon Valley, I mean, there was no structure per se to it. It just happened, which is what sort of happened here. So why do we need structure then from government or whatever it is? What is this structure we're looking for? Are we looking for a board or a commission or something?
No, I mean, what we need is the consistency in the policy. If you set it in place, try not to reverse it. When the next administration comes in, try to improve on it so that it penetrates all the way to the grassroots. There's no point every time when you plant a seed, you go there and you dig it up again. You want to give it some time, and you want to make sure that people are around nurturing this seed until it begins to. I mean, we are very excited. We're always in a hurry.
Yeah.
We want to see things happen like today. But I think we need to give it time. I think we're on the right track with this one.
What are you most excited about right now in the IT space in Nigeria?
There's a conference coming up, Tech Plus.
Okay.
I've been working on it for a while, for about 5 months, so I'm really keen on having that. It's happening July 21st to 23rd at a hotel and suite. It's a gathering of all things technology, so we're expecting people from government. We're expecting the startup guys as well. We also have tracks in marketing technology and all those kind of things. So everybody who has anything to do with technology as an enabler should be at a hotel. So
what are we supposed to be getting from this now, from the conference?
There will be a lot of networking going on. Also, providers will be talking about their new products in the technology space that they're expecting everybody to know about. There's also a gaming competition, so people who like to game, I'm not sure FIFA, Mortal Kombat and everything, if you like to game, please come by Tech Plus. We've also got VR showcase, so the virtual reality is now very big in this country and everywhere in the world. So if you've not had the chance to experience VR, please come by Tech Plus.
Pokemon Go just came to mind. I hope nobody has fallen for any cliff in Nigeria. All right, we'll take a break now. I'll be right back. We'll come back to Rubbin Minds and continue our conversation. Please stay with us.
Okay.